Hey, welcome back to Four for the Road, everybody. I'm your host, Punk Rock. We got some nerd, and we got Drifter here with us today as well. How you doing, Drifter?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, and we got that nerd over there fucking off in his awesome ass fucking hoodie.
Yeah, why is he wearing a hoodie? It's a summertime still.
Yeah, and
It's
it's hot outside.
it's Southern Canada, bro.
Yeah, it's still in the high 70s though. Didn't you say that,
No, it's like 60 something right now, but it'll be 70 today.
dude? I'd take 3 days to be cold right now. Like I'm so
It's
over
uh
being hot. I hate Florida.
it's 63 right now.
I
I think
would.
today's high at 70. But hey, welcome back for the weather report, everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Man,
today we're talking about balance.
Well, yeah, I think we started a good conversation before we started recording, and I'm sure we'll rabbit hole it into things that have absolutely nothing to do with each other, because that's our specialty. It's probably
yeah.
why we're not getting. It's probably why we don't have sponsors. But anyway, I love my new Vance and Heinz products. They're great, and if you haven't had a chance to check out their website, they
Oh,
have a Labor Day
shut
sale.
up.
One thing that I saw that had come up in some of the things that we have done, and something like I thought of for myself too, was like the ability to recognize maybe when you're not being the best brother that you can be, or if you're having trouble balancing certain things. I think depending on your home situation, your personal life, your club demands, things like that. Some guys absolutely are able to do 14 days worth of stuff in 7 days, and other guys have to recognize where they need balance and to keep those things in sync. We've talked about it many times before. It's basically a doctorate degree in keeping those things balanced, and you're not always, anybody that tells you that they're capable of always doing it, I'm going to tell you, is lying to you 99% of the time. See what I did there? No,
Yeah.
I just don't believe anybody. I wouldn't believe anybody that told me they can do it all the time. It's a hard gig. And I think you need to remember that here, even if you're in a club where maybe you're looking at another step up or something like that, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And if you're making 14 days and 1 week and making one or two things the next, and it's you have legitimate reasons for that, I see no issue with that. And I think guys need to stop beating other people up for that or themselves up for that. To me, as long as you're not taking your third property patch to the Keys and not telling your brothers, I see absolutely no problem with you devoting a lot of club time 1 week, reining it back the next if you need to. It's going to be different and situational for guys that have families, job commitments, whatever the case may be. It may not apply to you at all, but this idea where I'm a bad brother if I'm not there 7 days a week or whatever the case may be, or I'm only going to see the guys twice this week or once this week or whatever. Like I said, again, as long as you're not in a meth shack or out in the Keys with some random property, I don't care. Like it's about recognizing that you need to balance, but again, it's all done correctly, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
And I definitely agree with that, and I got two things right. So first, that is the third time that I this morning have heard the as long as you're not down in the Keys with your third property patch, and it is still just as funny as the first time, and I appreciate that. um, but
He lost his train of
oh,
thought. Look at him.
I did
He
look
doesn't
at
know where he's at.
this
He's
is
thinking about his second property.
no my fifth man. Come on. Oh man, I was about to say something really fucked up. I'm really glad I didn't because that would just cause more work for me because that definitely would not have made it on the air. Um, but but I think to go with that, you can't be that jaded brother where when you have the opportunity to make things, fucking all the events, doing all this shit that you were saying, doing 14 days worth of stuff in 7 days, you can't be that jaded brother and looking at your other brothers going like, well, why the fuck wasn't he here? Well, where the fuck was this guy at? Why wasn't he doing this? Because you may be a single dude. Like that was one of the things that I was always envious of. I wasn't jealous. I wish I had that, but at the same time, like I never thought of myself as a lesser brother because hey man, sorry, like my kid's got a recital tonight, or hey, you know what, like the new Star Wars is dropping, my kid really wants to go see it, so I'm gonna go take him to go see it. while they're out having a great time, running around the county, fucking partying, doing all the fucking biker shit, right? Don't fucking be that guy either.
Well, there's a line there too. You can have that where you have commitments, family commitments, and just upkeep of the family. You know, you got to be there for them, even if you're just hanging out. But then there's the other side of that where guys, weekend after weekend after weekend, you know, they just don't show up. They're not there. They don't do anything. You know, there's a line there, and I think each club and each situation draws that line differently.
Exactly. And I think like one of the first things we started talking about was the ability to recognize in yourself what you're capable of and what you're doing. And if you feel that, you know, 1 week or a succession of weeks, maybe you didn't put forth as much effort, I promise you 100% you are not the first person in any club to have that thought. And you're not going to be out of the club that third week, right? Most likely. So don't worry about it. Like, as long as you recognize it, as long as, like I said, you're not hooked up in some meth shack somewhere, you're going to have an opportunity to self-reflect, self-correct, and be the brother that you want to be if you maybe weren't exactly 100% in the game for a couple of weeks. It happens to fucking everybody. All that matters is that you recognize it and you move forward from there. Like I said, even if you're going to step up to another club eventually or whatever the case may be, like, it's something that's going to happen to everybody. It's still a marathon. I know we can't overuse that enough. You're not fucking sprinting anywhere. This isn't the Olympics. Like, you want to be in this commitment for life, regardless of where your club kind of career or whatever takes you. This is a commitment, and this is something that you should anyway in your mind be thinking, I want to do this for life. So those down weeks, don't beat the shit out of yourself because of it. Just correct it when you're able.
So, what events would you say that a club is doing that, I don't want to use the word mandatory, but that you should be there? That should come first.
Obviously, if you have a mandatory, you have a mandatory. You knew that as a hang-around that this club has mandatories, or you should have been asking those questions. You knew that as a probator, a prospect. You know, if you absolutely are having the worst week of your life, maybe a mandatory run is going to be good for you. If you are losing your house, your job, your spouse, your kids, whatever, then maybe you need to talk to your club about why you can't make that mandatory. Or do you need, you know, some clubs allow for a leave of absence. You can get your personal shit in order, because if you are behind on child support, losing your house, losing your job, paying a divorce lawyer, you might not be able to make the demands that the club has, and you're hurting your other chapter. And so I think the most important factor is how honest are you? Like, these are people that you consider brothers, family, right? So you should be able to tell them, hey man, I had a hard poop this morning and I'm not really feeling like so they should definitely, before you even come to them and tell them how much of a struggle you're feeling, like, they should already have some type of fucking clue. So yeah, absolutely, like you said, if there's a mandatory, you should be there. If there's a run that's been talked about for a long time, you should be there. And sometimes, you know, again, on the other side of that coin, you might have to just fucking suck it up and go. Again, it's situational, and it's all about being honest with your brothers and being honest with yourself. And I think that's hard. It looks like Ken, it looks like your wheels are turning. What do you got for us? I can see you over there. Your wheels are turning.
They are.
Nah,
Man.
he's hungover.
Also, like, dude, I woke up a half hour ago. Like,
So for those, obviously we can't do video. Some of us have jobs where we get fired and things like that. But for those, I want to set the scene for you. Ken is drinking some kind of blue liquid out of a water bottle, and he also has, is that 3 Yinglings behind you on the nightstand there?
Busted.
So hang on. Wait. So are you okay? Like, where are you in life right now? Where three Yinlings on the bedpost is kind of how you go to sleep. Like, do you want to talk? Let's change course here, and let's talk about Ken and maybe what's going on that we're bedside Yinlings. How you doing, Ken? Talk to us.
So Ken, you thought this was another recording for 4 for the Road, but it's not. This is an intervention. We're here for you.
you guys are amazing. I fucking hate you guys.
Also, one question: are those from this morning or last night?
So hold on. No, I wanna get talking about being a good brother, right?
Oh, here we go. Evade.
No,
Yeah.
he's
Sorry
the first. This is the first time he's ever brought us back on topic. So let's go with it.
Yeah. So let's talk about being a good brother. Well, you think I'm bringing us back on topic? I'm really just taking shots. But being a good brother, your brother buys a brand new 2020 Road Glide, and he wants you to do a bar job for him, right? So like, what do you do? Like, are you supposed to find him the risers? Are you supposed to find him the fucking because he wants this MX bar set up? You see that eye roll?
This sounds
right
personal.
there?
Sounds very personal.
So no, so okay, so he didn't bring us back on topic, and what he's referring to. What he's referring to is I'm helping Ken set up his post-military career, and I'm his business developer. And for that, I said you're going to do the bars on my new bike. And I don't really have time to be shopping around, so he's going to do that too.
Apparently, I mean, fuck it. Should I just buy them too?
Is that an option? Can that be like part of my salary?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
But yeah, so that was kind of the first topic we wanted to hit on was recognize more. I know we've talked about balance before, and I don't want it to come across to listeners so much as like a balance discussion, more so as like an internal kind of recognition when you need to kind of recalibrate your priorities, if you even need to, or to fucking just simply not beat yourself up because, like we said, you weren't making 14 events a week. It's okay. Like I said, there's instances and reasons where maybe it's not okay, but I'm guessing for the majority of us, like we're just trying to be dedicated and we're gonna beat ourselves up a little bit when we think we're not making or we're not as active on the scene as maybe we should be. And again, like I said, there's all kinds of different circumstances for that, but again, for the majority, it's fucking all right, dude. Calm down and just take a breath, and next week you'll get back at it. It happens to everybody.
I think a lot of it comes from accountability too, right? For yourself. Because it kind of goes back with don't be that guy where you're trying to find the balance and you're still, pretty active in the club and you're taking care of job and home. But you also have to have that personal accountability to even see what you're talking about, Dave. You know what I'm saying? You can't think that I go to the COC meeting once a month, and I wear my patch and I ride my motor scooter there, so I'm good, right? You have to have the personal accountability in yourself to recognize that there's an issue, that you're not showing up for, like I call the important shit. If we're supposed to be a family, why weren't you at my son's birthday party? If we're supposed to be a family, where the fuck were you for my wedding?
Exactly. And
you have to have that accountability in yourself to realize that that's an issue.
And Ken's got a great point too. And also, like, don't be that asshole that's like, why weren't you at my kid's birthday? Because I was on deployment, bro. Like,
right? Yeah,
understand your brothers and what they got going on in their lives. Like, that's on us as much as it is on their brother to tell us. That's on us to kind of understand what's going on in your life too.
There's always going to be that one brother that makes everything and gives everybody else shit for not doing the same.
Like, why weren't you at my kid's birthday? I was on deployment. I don't know what you want from me.
Sorry, I was over here defending freedom. My bad.
Oh, here we go.
America's front line of defense.
Yeah, one beer at a time.
Is it Veterans Day yet? Are we gonna do a podcast specifically on Veterans Day, and we can just roll out a whole bunch of cliches?
Can we do it like at Hooters and Chili's and all that, where we can have our free lunch?
Hey, you know what I was thinking? We could like roll out like a whole bunch of cliches for an episode on that day, and just see if readers pick up what's legit and what's just shit talking, and you could like win a prize. Like, are we serious? Win a prize.
I don't know. I feel like that would end up because we all know that I'm not a big fan of the overabundance of military-centric clubs that we have, right? I'm not saying I'm not a fan of military clubs. I'm saying I don't like the fact that there is fucking 83,000 fucking military clubs, but they're all, about like, oh, well, we're all about fucking brotherhood, and, if you were in the Navy, you could join this club. It's just like, bro, you know what? We've got 4 or 5 already legit nationwide veterans clubs. Why do we need another one? Well, this one caters to my needs. It's, well, you can suck 4 dicks. Like, we go prospect, bro. You don't need to set up another club.
Hey, have you ever seen that page, Decelerate Your Life?
Yes.
No.
I'm very avid on it.
It's like a Navy. I think it's like they focus on like a lot of things, but I think it's like a Navy centric page. But it's like a satire page or whatever, like a memes and like funny shit for the most part. And they do a thing every Friday called Boomer Friday, and like. That's what it reminds me of with like some of those clubs. It's like they'll make like a fake post or something, and then the bottom the signature will be like Cold War vet engine room 81 to 82. Thank me for my service. And I was like, I feel like that with some of these clubs. But that's a whole other rabbit hole. And we've already covered that. Forget these guys. I don't care.
I mean,
you care.
I mean, what are they gonna do? Call my
But I think
command.
you're right.
Like 3 days. I don't care.
We had somebody else that wrote on it. I don't remember if it was a write-in or if it was a writer that did it, talking about these different pop-up clubs and stuff like that, and just go prospect, probate, whatever, for a legitimate club that's out there. There's literally something to fit all of your needs. If you're in an area where you think you can actually come up with something that you don't have in that area, then great. Then go about birthing that club the right way. But I'm going to guess for the large majority of people, if you tell me why you're different than everybody else, I can find something in your area that's exactly what you're doing. Like,
that happened. that actual scenario happened. We had a guy write in and said, "Hey guys, like I've used the Google. I can't find any fucking clubs in my area. I know me and like 3 of my homies want to be in a club. We want to start a club. Is this a good idea?" And we're like, "Hold on, where are you?" The guy told us his location, and then I think it was me and Dave. We brought up like 4 or 5 different clubs. And I was like, "Here you go, bro. Like, here's like, there's fucking a shit ton of clubs right there for you, right there." He's like, "Oh well, I really don't like these guys because they're 1%, and I don't want to be a 1%er." I'm like, "All right, cool. Hey, like I understand that. That's fine. Well, what about these guys?" "Oh, well, I'm not a vet." "Okay, well, what about these guys?" "Oh, well, he's 40 miles away from me. I don't know if
wait a minute. I thought everybody in the motorcycle scene now is a vet.
Oh, I am.
I mean, I'm a bro vet. No, I'm not. That I almost threw up in the mouth saying that. No, I'm not.
Don't ever say that again.
I don't think I like legitimately like my goal in life is when I'm not at work, people look at me and be like, "Wait a minute, you're actually in the fucking military?" Like that is my goal.
So I just saw a message pop up in the group page from No Shame. I thought he was supposed to be on this morning's episode. Did we forget him?
In my defense, I woke up 20 minutes ago.
Was he asking about it?
No, he wasn't asking about it. I just saw he texted us a meme, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, wasn't he supposed to be on the show?" But in Ken's defense, he was drinking Bedside beers, so he's got some issues going on. Hey, but I tell you what, shout out, hats off to him for this giveaway that he's done. You really kicked ass on raising money for Tank 1%er, handling the giveaways, getting companies to donate shit. The last one we just did was Ride Your Shit, and homeboy from Ride Your Shit really hooked it up. I mean, he went from like donating a t-shirt to like a full-on duffel bag worth of stuff, which is awesome. And
yeah,
I don't know if some people remember, but at the old page we used to have like a strict like no flyers, no GoFundMes and stuff like that. And I understand that, and I'm kind of a fan of that, and I want to take a time for people to understand, like, here at the Four for the Road page, I also want to, like, on a case-by-case basis, I guess, with all of you guys, with the 10 of us that write there, is this a GoFundMe? Is this a flyer? Is this something that we want to promote to the community? And obviously Tank 1%er was an easy one because he was on our show. He was so fucking awesome, and that's doing a disservice in explaining how gracious he was to be on our show, to give him his time, to talk to us, to want to help out with other stuff and more videos and things like that. So that was a personal nature on why we wanted to post that GoFundMe and do this, and also get companies involved and give people some cool shit. But if that comes up in the future again, that's the kind of stuff that I want to post, something that has meaning to us, to the community. Look, I'm not trying to be a dick, but if your Uncle Jimmy goes down in a motorcycle wreck, that is unfortunate, and I feel for you. However, I'm not sure that necessarily needs to go on our page for people to donate. You know what? Who makes the 10 of us the overlords to decide what's a good GoFundMe and what isn't? I can 100% take that criticism, but it's my fucking soccer ball, and I'll take it home if I want to. Like,
that's exactly what I was going to say. You know, that the answer to who makes us the overlords is we did. You came to my page, and you followed it.
And
but
I want to do. We want to do. Oh, go ahead.
Because you gave me credit here. I started out with saying I was going to buy a Murder Town T-shirt and a V-Twin Visionary shirt, and I was going to raffle them off. I was going to give people 2 weeks. Also give me, a payday to purchase these things. But these vendors, these guys are the ones that stepped up. We had Decal. He stepped up. He's like, "Hey, bro, fucking like I got this shit," or fucking they can get a $25 gift card, fucking whatever. Writer's shit. He wrote in, Lead Risk Supply wrote in, literally everything but the Murder Town T-shirt and the V-Twin Visionary shirt. Those guys wrote in and said, "Hey, how can we contribute?"
They came to us.
Yeah,
we didn't ask them. They came right to us.
Yeah, I really don't want to take credit for something I didn't do.
But you've done the logistics you've done the logistics on getting everything kind of organized, what day goes where, running the raffles, doing that computer shit that spits out a winner, like notifying the winners, getting them hooked up with the company for shipping and stuff like that. So you have put in a lot of work. Again, Jim is 100% correct. You're 100% correct. These companies stepping up has been awesome, but you did a lot of the logistical work once they stepped up to and offered that stuff. So we appreciate you. We appreciate them, obviously. And I think just real quick, like I said, coming over from the other page definitely is something, we've done more. We've had, if you have something that you want to do like a swap meet style stuff on for parts or whatever, we've done that. If you want to have a I don't know. I'm not going to post your party fly. I don't give a shit about your party, right? Just your average everyday party. I don't care. But if you have like a special event coming up, if you have a memorial run for somebody that was a big figure in the community, even if it's just in your regional area, that's the kind of stuff that we like, and that's the kind of stuff that we want to change a little bit to being able to promote that. Again, your Uncle Jimmy, I'm sorry, he's not making the page.
Well,
speaking of swap meets, Jimothy. You used to post a swap meet Sunday.
Yeah, I did.
Did that just fizzle out?
It kind of did. I didn't see a lot of movement in the comments, so I didn't know if it was doing anything. If that's something we want to bring back, we can certainly do that. The whole idea was it was a virtual swap meet, so guys in the comments could come in and say, "Hey, I got this frame or I got this gas tank. Take a picture of it." And then put it in the comments, and then guys could IM them to get prices and shit like that. But hey, going back to what you were saying about us posting stuff that's important to us. So yeah, if my club was doing a memorial or something, I would post it. But that's the only form of payment us 10 writers have, and that's fine. We do this because we love it. But because we do the work, we also get to pick what goes on there. That's just how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I like that analogy. Like we don't get paid, so our payment is picking and choosing what we're gonna put up. But like I said, that was just I completely understand the nothing at all policy that was at the other page, because if you're gonna do for one, why aren't you doing for everybody? I completely get that, and I'm completely fine with that. However, I like the idea that we've set up here, where the 10 of us talk and like, hey, is this something we want to post up? And people are usually in agreement, and it goes up. And so if people out there have something they want to put up, let us know, and we'll talk about it. Don't get butthurt if we decide that we can't do it. But if it's a worthy cause, it'll probably make it up.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's it.
So yeah, things like the Yonkers, they do their Joe Cool run every year. The Fagawi tribe, Northern Alabama, they do a What About Bob party that they have every year. It's very cool.
What 13 Rebels runs can we promote?
Well, I try not to talk too much about 13 Rebels.
from the geriatric home to like a Denny's at
That's
4
that's
o'clock.
that's Jim by himself. That's just Jim by himself.
I have guys in my chapter younger than you, so hush your mouth.
I was gonna say I'm in so much shit if I get stationed in Virginia next.
Without Jim likes to keep his private stuff private, which is obviously respectable. So without giving away too much information, I remember one time riding with him. We pulled up to this gas station, and this young cat came up on like a total Dyna Bro Dyna. He had to be in his very early 20s and stuff like that, right? And I was like, Jim? You like his son, grandson? Like, what's going on here?
I just remember us riding and that guy from a riding club came zooming by us, not passing us in a correct. I lost my shit, dude. I was so mad. But that's okay. We resolved it.
And within 20, I want people to know, within 24 hours, Jim had an apology. Like, was it a face-to-face? It was a face-to-face apology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Within 24 hours, the network had made it right. The world had made it right. It had realigned the universe.
Yeah, I'm still mad about that.
See, this is a great example. See, when you hang out with Dave, people fuck up. They do stupid shit and they make you mad. When you hang out with old punk rock, we have beers and everybody's having a great time.
Hey,
that's foreshadowing.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't have foreskin.
Oh, jeez.
This took a weird. This took a weird turn.
So we're having a religious discussion.
What are you doing?
You want to talk about religious stuff? We can do that too.
Hang on, we got to keep it appropriate. My wife just walked in.
So if you turn in your Bibles to John 3:16.
Those are not beers on the dresser.
No, I moved it.
You did, didn't you? Are you a little self-conscious?
It's coffee.
Yeah, a little extra something.
There's some bourbon in that coffee.
No, whiskey.
So, too, another thing that I thought would be good to talk about was, we're anybody that's out there that listens. I know Ken's brought it up before. Our international readers. We had one gentleman come into the inbox, who it comes from one, and I won't give it away because he's still trying to get permission and stuff like that to either be on the show or give us some write-ups. But a really cool thing for the history nuts like Drifter and I, we had a gentleman in the inbox from one of the oldest 1%. If I say the oldest, it gives it away, but it is the oldest 1% club in the UK. So if you have Google, you know who the fuck we're talking about.
It's like, I'm not going to drop names, but fucking Jim Smith over here was telling me.
I feel like in my defense, I feel like if I say one of the oldest 1% clubs in the UK, then I'm doing them a disservice because it is the oldest 1% club in the UK. So again, he's working it to get his permissions and stuff like that. And again, from a respect angle, we would 100% respect and understand that, appreciate any effort anybody from overseas makes to try and write in here within the parameters of their club. Of course, everything that we do is always 100% based on whatever your club approves you sharing. But I think that's something cool for the nerds here is to see that kind of that UK history, and especially something that's got the history that this gentleman would bring. So hopefully that's something that we can bring in the near future.
Dude, especially with that guest that we're more than likely going to get next month.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Fuck. The two of those guys, I'm fucking stoked. That's going to be, I promise you, I'm probably not going to say anything other than the intro and the exit. And then I'm just going to sit here and just listen.
Yeah,
while all the talking.
One of the I don't even know what the right word would be. I guess a helper wrote in asking, can we get questions in advance? And obviously, yes, you want your nation to be able to kind of approve whatever's going to be said. And it was kind of hard to write them back because it was like, we just want to hear stories. like if you want to tell me what it was like riding to the gas station in 1970, I want to hear it. I want to put it down and preserve it and get it recorded. So, I don't. That's where I'm at with that.
What specific area do you prefer your Coke from? Like, we're not gonna have dumb shit like that.
Yeah. So, what club do you hate?
So, who are you at war with right now?
Yeah. No, for me anyway, it's legit. Just 100%. Like, just shower me with stories about what it was like riding through the Midwest, through the West Coast, through the East Coast during your era. That's the shit I love, eat up, and want to hear.
So, hey, going back to that international stuff, we have several, I guess you would call them friends now in the UK, and very fascinating history. I'd like to kind of find guys in Australia that are the same way because that's a you've got these areas of concentration. You obviously have North and South America, which is the American idea. Then you have the UK, which is its own separate thing, and then you've got continental Europe, which is weird. Then you've got Australia. I'd like to find guys in each one of these areas just to talk to us and tell us what it's like in that area. Hopefully, we can do that in the very near future, especially with the UK, because they are completely different.
And especially like you mentioned, Europe, Australia, we're really seeing some government crackdowns. Australia has kind of, people have known about Australia and the restrictions and the rules there for a long time. But for those that aren't following, you look at countries like was it Holland that just banned like two very large international motorcycle clubs, and they completely banned the use of their symbols in public. I don't know if it was one that was like trying to get it down to even like the tattoos. If you had visible tattoos of that trademarked logo, you would have to cover. Don't quote me on that one, but that, again, one of the internet things swirling around there with the ban was that visible tattoos might have to go away too. And I know Australia has some just as strict laws in some of their areas.
Oh, the ones in Australia are absolutely insane. So let's say you've got two guys in a club. They're not wearing anything that says they're in that club. No soft colors, no support shirts, nothing. As soon as they get a third guy that they know in that club, they can all be arrested. That's it. Even if they're at their own house, it doesn't matter. Three guys in the same club that's on their list of bad boys can't be together.
And again, I would like Drifter said, I would love to have somebody from Australia kind of like educate us more, because again, what we get is mostly from reading, online internet articles and stuff like that. But my understanding too is now the in certain areas in Australia where these laws are more strict, they can simply come into your house, your clubhouse, without a warrant. If they think that you're congregating for a club meeting or a club party or whatever, they can just come on in your house. Like, they don't need a warrant, they don't need to knock, they can just come on in, and it's legal.
It's 100% legal because they don't have the same kind of constitution that we do here.
Dude, that's fucking bullshit. I don't care who you are. That's fucking garbage.
Yeah, once you get put on their list, once your organization is put on their list of bad boys, they can do whatever they want.
So yeah, again, if we have anybody out there that wants to give us an overview, even if you want to be anonymous, you don't want to talk about. I think people, when we have guests on, we don't make them talk about who they're with at all. If you want to share who you're with, fine. If you don't, you're just Joe Blow that's in a club that knows this stuff and can present this information. Again, I don't think we've ever had an episode where we divulge trade secrets. So we're not going to start. So again, if you're just in those areas and want to talk to us about what it's like and be anonymous, we're going to listen.
And even if you slip up too, like, we'll cut that shit out. That's not a problem. Like if you say like you don't want your club name mentioned, right? And then you slip up and be like, yeah, so like, me as a member of fucking Motorcycle MC, oh fuck, hey man, don't worry about it. I'll timestamp that and I'll make sure I get that out before the final product's pushed out.
Also, I know that it was a joke a while back that somebody got upset about, and I'm sorry he got upset. But if you want to make fun of us in America for anything that we do, feel free to send that in too. Okay? I took a shot at I made a joke about a European kind of culture thing or whatever the case. It was a joke. It was a fucking meme, and somebody didn't like it. And in no way does that reflect on that person that didn't like it. Like, we like that dude. He's an awesome dude. But again, if you want to make fun of us, make fun of us.
Was it the rave pants?
No, it was the fanny pack. Yeah. Well, they don't call it fanny packs.
It's a fanny pack.
What is it, like a fupa pouch? Like what do they call it over there?
I don't remember what it's supposed to be called. Maybe an ass bag or something. I don't know.
I know an ass bag.
He's on the show. Hey, one more thing about the show too. Like, so I posted an article a couple days ago that was a repost, kind of one of the first history things that I had ever done a few years ago on Tom Fugel. And one of the things, like, I remember the first time I posted it got a ton of interaction and stuff like that. And even today, years later, it's still getting people that write us and send us personal pictures of their interactions with Tom, which is something I love about the page, and kind of preserving that history. So now, let's say you're a new guy, or whatever the case may be, and you're just coming onto the scene. You can see this article. You can go in there and you can see pictures of people interacting with an icon like Tom Fugel. You can see that. You can see their personal. People are sharing their personal photos with us, or we've got legitimate club members telling stories about Tom, and that's something that I love the shit out of. And whatever we can do to continue to earn that trust, respect, to preserve it, I want to do.
I think as long as we just keep doing what we're doing, we're going to preserve that. Because the guys see what we're doing here. We're pretty transparent. We're pretty open about who we are. Very rarely do we use our fucking road names and shit anymore. Like while we're on the show, I think they just see the authenticity in it and know that we're not here to make a buck, and that's why we don't have, like, dude, we get guys at least once or twice a month now, in the inbox saying like, hey, dude, like, do you guys have stickers? Do you have T-shirts? Like, what can I do to support this? Be like, dude, share our articles. Tell your friends about it. Tell your club about it. Like, that's all we can ask. No, we don't have T-shirts. Like, yeah, I'm gonna, I have plans to do something for the crew for like Christmas time frame, right? But that's just for the crew. That's for the guys that are making this project happen.
So look for 10 shirts on eBay soon.
9. I'm going to keep mine. All right. But, like making stickers and shit like that for free, like that, because that was a promise that we made to the readers and the listeners. We're not going to make a dime off of this. We're doing this strictly for the love of the culture and to preserve the history and traditions. So,
and going back to kind of like you said, preserving it. One thing I won't mention the reader's name. But one thing that we got here that was written in is where. Hang on, let me find it real quick here. He talks about the times that he got to sit down and cherish memories with Tom, and talking about how Tom always made time for anyone who wanted a picture, who wanted to pick his brain, and somebody's writing into us and kind of sharing that, talking about spending quite a few nights just working with him. Like, this guy got to work with Tom, and talks about sitting at his house and just listening, and mentioning that kind of iconic voice that Tom had, and hearing stories. That's something that we, whether I don't know if it comes through obviously through the internet, but that's something that we absolutely 100% appreciate people doing and sharing, and kind of what the goal was overall for the page, whether that's history or something else, is people telling their story about it. So we appreciate that shit.
100%, man. 100 fucking percent.
And this kind of hits home to me and my club. All of our original guys, they're all gone. So all these little questions that we have, what was it like? How did this happen? How did this patch come about? All that kind of stuff. That's all gone for us. So I like the idea of us preserving that history that's out there. So 80 years from now, some guy isn't asking about his club, or if he does, he can find one of our old recordings or whatever, and realize, oh, that's what it was like.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And especially like you mentioned, from somebody like yourself who comes from such a historic club, and not that you have to share it with people, but we know that you've been very active in digging through that history and finding kind of every little nugget that you can. And not only because you love your club, obviously, but because you love the culture, you love the history, you love where it's going too. Like, it's not just about kind of what's the word, when you just crave the past or whatever. It's not just the nostalgia. It's all of it. It's a total kind of immersion.
Well, once you do that, once you see the past, and just like how bikers look, I think I don't know if I did an art. Oh, I'm working on an article about the different look of a biker throughout the ages. So once you know the past and how it evolved, then you can see it better for the present and kind of predict the future. Because right now, the look of a biker is changing. The way that I dress and what I think is important for a biker is a little different from even what you guys with your little flipped up hats and whatever it is the hell you guys wear, your little sneakers running around. For
You know
me,
what?
it's
Wait a minute.
not.
Wait a minute. Every time a boomer pulls out this sneaker bullshit,
Gen
I have a
X,
picture.
Gen
I have a
X.
picture from 1965 of a very large run for a very well-known 1% club, and there are multiple people in this picture in tennis shoes, a couple of white sneakers as well. So this in my generation, we all wore boots. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
That's because they couldn't afford the boots.
Thank
It's
you.
depression era.
Oh, so it's okay for you guys to be broke, but I have to make $100,000 a year? What the fuck?
Yeah,
That
yeah, you
was
do.
Hey, that was something that Jim missed out on our last one, was talking about how expensive this lifestyle is. And like I feel like sometimes guys aren't prepared for the cost that are associated. They think they're gonna get in and just pay their dues, and then all of a sudden they're paying for gas. Maybe they're paying for something, past the hat, past the collection plate. They're paying for hotels, they're paying for food on the road, or whatever the case may be. And like, holy shit, where'd all this money come from?
Dude, I think that is something that nobody ever fucking talks about. Um, that really fucking opened my eyes, and it was after I patched in. Because I just I don't know why, but I just never thought about it. But going around making sure everybody's fucking cool with everybody. You got to play the politic game every now and then, right? But I think we hit like 4 or 5 different clubs events, and it was $20 to get into each of them. And then you're buying,
Not to mention the donations that you're dropping.
yeah, and then fucking, dropping tips in the fucking at the bar, fucking food, this and that. It's like, oh hey, like I like this T-shirt, I'll buy this T-shirt to help support your cause, blah blah blah. It's like, dude, it's not uncommon to spend below $500 in a weekend.
I remember my wife and I went to an event one time, and it was for a club, but I think it was like, it was like $20 a person or something like that. And usually if you ride two up, if you have a passenger or whatever, they give you a break on the second person that's riding with you. And so we got to the door, and the guy's like, that'll be $40. I was like, wait a minute, can I turn around and leave? God dang, $40.
Yeah,
So yeah.
everything's $20, man. T-shirt, entry, koozie, a hot dog.
Right.
Fucking
I'm gonna
20
I'm gonna
bucks.
throw the rare party where I'm gonna charge like $9.50 to get in. It's like $9.50, and we don't give change. All right.
Way to make friends and influence people. Good job.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, man.
But yeah, not to reiterate the show that we've already done on kind of the cost, but I know Drifter wasn't here for that one, so that was something we covered last week or the other day, I guess, was just how expensive it can be and something to prepare for.
Well, especially in diamond clubs, because those cats, they pay a lot in dues alone.
Hey, speaking of money and stuff like that, and I know something that you've been involved in, Drifter. Like when you find these old articles and you find these old flyers and these old race posters and stuff like that, are you have you noticed, like, are there any like admission prices attached to that? Like how much is like it changed to go to a field meet for your club in 1941 or 1940 or 1950 or whatever, to what it costs to go into a clubhouse today or go to a run today? Have you found any of those on your flyers, on your research?
I saw one in the 50s that was $2, and that's the only one I've ever seen that had a price associated with it. $2 to get in.
It seems like a lot in the 50s though. Wasn't gas
Yeah.
like a nickel?
Yeah, it probably was. No, like 25, 30 cents a gallon.
And I'm wondering, like, would our forefathers, the people before us, spent $2? What is what is this bullshit? Like, let's go home, Chuck. I'm not paying $2 to get into this bullshit.
They did.
Dude, I don't know, man. I was one of those kids in school where I would days off during, they talk about historic wars and stuff like that, and I'd days off and be like, man, I wonder if I was in like the European theater, what kind of damage could I do with like a modern M4? You know, like how badass could I be? And I find myself still thinking about that today, but with bikes, and be like, dude, if I could, but like the other way around, right? Like, what if I could bring, fucking pick a fucking dude, right? Like, what if I could bring Ed Kretz to 2020, right? What would he say?
He'd say, "Let me use your bike for a minute."
Yeah, I mean, he'd definitely say that. But like, what would he say about the technological advances that we've made, and paying $20 to get into a clubhouse to eat a fucking
Well,
3-cent hot dog?
and you make a great point too. Like even the structure for a lot of clubs and how we interact and the rules, the protocols today are for a lot of them are completely different than would have been in somebody like Ed's day and stuff like that. So would somebody like that even have joined a club today? Because he didn't so you're talking about a situation where the person didn't evolve with us, like how we've evolved. They would be coming from their era, seeing our era. Would they even want to be a part of it?
Probably not. I'll be honest, because we have so many modern day restrictions and rules and etiquette, how the clubs interact, that they just didn't have back then. Back then in Ed Kretz's beginning days, they were race teams that were families, and not these closed societies that MCs are today.
And we're not advocating for one way or the other. I'm just saying it's different, recognizing that evolution is a thing, and it's different. And you mentioned the great, like, beefs were settled on the track. Beefs were settled out back with fists, if there was that. Beefs were settled by who could race across town the fastest, who could pound their beer with something gross inside it the fastest. And it's just different today. Better, worse, whatever. It's different today.
Yeah, and I think that's really all it comes down to is, I mean, you see it anywhere you go. You have the old head that's gonna be stuck in his ways, the back in my day kind of guy, and the new guy, and the old guy is never gonna like the new guy's shit.
Yeah.
I can hear you. I'm sitting right here. I can hear you.
Hey, you're the quote unquote old guy. All right, you're not extremely, like, you're not geriatric. We give you shit for being a silver fox, but
So, and one of the things that we've done lately on like Instagram or something like that is post. We found like old flyers for races or old clubhouses or bars where all these like kind of famous clubs from back in the day hung out, and then looking through the technology that is Google Earth, what they look like today and how much the landscape has changed. I mean, you got to think about how different it was for the returning World War II vet versus what that neighborhood looks like today, where the 13 Rebels and the Booze Fighters and the Sharks and the whoever met up to race is gone. Like there was one the other day I posted up. It's a car dealership now.
The All American Cafe.
Yeah, the bar is not, like, the building isn't even there.
Yeah. The 13 Rebels racetrack outside of Los Angeles now is like a subdivision, long gone. No evidence of it being there at all.
I think we should do another history episode like that. Talk about the differences in, like, generations.
Yeah. And one thing I like is like finding old, like Drifter mentioned, like finding old race flyers and taking a look at them. Some of those streets, because of reconstruction of the cities, for subdivisions or overpasses or whatever, whatever, those streets don't even exist anymore. They've become highway whatever, or they've become byway, bypass whatever. And so some of that shit is like not even, you can't even find it anymore where it was. It's just that street doesn't exist.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, that kind of shit's changed since I've been alive. The last years,
And speaking of racetracks, COVID has kind of put, I know that a lot of, we saw on social media, a lot of dudes, club related, made their way down to the Springfield Mile, which is an amazing kind of flat track event to go to. But also I want to see, Drifter, do you have any update, anything going to be going on with the dungeon, with Digger's Dungeon? All this, once this COVID stuff is gone, any kind of like, yay, we're out of this nonsense, let's have a race?
Well, they were talking about this fall, but I think that's kind of fell through. So now we're looking at next spring again. is definitely coming back. And just a quick shout out, if there's guys out there that want to put on these races, send us a thing in the inbox, and I'll hook you up with the guys who started this whole run what you brung. Well, actually, it's all American or Allied bikes, but just dirt track. Get out there, all amateurs, just having fun. If you're interested in doing that, send us a thing in the inbox, and I'll hook you up with the guy who sets it up.
Yeah. And what I like about that is like you said, the Allied bikes portion of it. I mean, that allows you a Harley, Indian, BSAs, Triumphs, Nortons. Yeah. I mean, a really cool eclectic collection of bikes that can come out there. Whether you have a new Triumph or you're running an old BSA, just some cool stuff that they can bring together and run. And right before the COVID shit, you guys had a huge draw. I mean, it was really gaining a lot of steam and was cool to see because, I think also we've seen professional racing making a comeback from Daytona, the Springfield Mile, the flat track stuff has really kind of made a comeback, but also to see backyard racing or something kind of informal like Digger's Dungeon getting as popular as it was. They even moved it. They had one in Ohio?
They had one in Alabama. They had several in Virginia.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, to see it gaining steam in other states, too, was really very cool before all this quarantine stuff.
Yeah, we'd like to get back to it. And what you were talking about, different kinds of bikes. At the last race, we had an Indian Scout, several Sportsters, and a Harley Sprint, the little, 250.
Really?
And that little Sprint was kicking everybody's ass because of the way the track was. The big bikes blew it in the straightaways, just blew right past them. But in those corners, nobody could touch this guy.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys had a track, a circle track, oval track, and then there was also some drag strips, right, too, or some dirt. Was it dirt drags?
Oh yeah, there's actually 3 tracks there. They create a big oval dirt track for the flat track, and then they have a drag strip right next to it, a dirt drag strip, and then they have a trail that goes through the woods and has some really big jumps, and we got some great pictures of guys just soaring through the air. And poor Hitch, my club brother, he went soaring through the air, came back down and landed right on his nuts. And oh man, that was a bad afternoon.
I think that's the picture that he shows that you were showing everybody that night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, it's my brother Hitch, that's him, blah blah blah, and he just like shaking his head, just like, yeah, that was me.
We had
a cool picture, but you didn't see what happened after.
We had him and Jumper on here for an interview a long time ago now, talking about racing.
Yeah, see, it feels like a long time ago, but that was right before the COVID stuff kind of kicked off, right? Because when was Dave? When was fucking Mama Tried?
March this year.
Was it March? Okay, so yeah, it was. Yeah. It was a while now.
So they're talking about bringing Mama Tried back and they've rescheduled it for February. So we'll see if that actually makes it. But they've rescheduled it for February this year. I have only seen advertisements so far, and admittedly I haven't paying as close attention as I should because it's in our home state. But I've only seen advertisements so far for the bike show Mama Tried. I don't know if they're going to bring the race back, but I would imagine if they're going to do Mama Tried, they would do Flat Out Friday, which is the race portion as well.
I think that's probably what I'm pissed off that I didn't go up there, right?
It could never be as good. It could never be as good as it was during the COVID year because you had guys just going into construction sites, telling security guards that they had permission. I guess that's what happens when you pay security guards $10 an hour, and then racing around the construction cones in this construction site. Like, I don't know how you top that ever.
That Hitch and Jumper again.
Yeah.
But my favorite part was the guy in the outhouse, the motorized outhouse on city streets in the big roundabout, just going around like it was cool.
Oh boy,
sunshine on me.
Hey, so
hello.
Hi.
Tell everybody how it's my wife. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Leah.
Tell everybody. Oh, now the whole world's gonna know you. What they're gonna know you're married to like a gang member.
Okay, this is gonna be hard to find me with my first name, I think. But
so tell people, do you like your husband being in a motorcycle club?
Sure, yeah, I like it. He's not here bothering me as much because he has club stuff to do, so it works out good.
Oh, can we edit? Let's timestamp that shit and let's.
No, negative. That is staying.
No, that one's making it.
You know what? And I want to give a shout out to my wife because she has been fucking super supportive about any dumb shit that I've done or good shit that I've done. Not to toot her own horn. She's been at the clubhouse. I'm one of the only married dudes, and she's been there. She makes dinner. She's made dinner. She's done other stuff that she's cleaned up. She's helped other girlfriends or something like that get stuff together. She's never once bitched about me being out of town when I've been out of town. She's come and got me when I needed to be come and got. So really, she deserves a shout out while she's here. Being very supportive.
He's buttering me up because he wants a new bike. So it's working.
We already got the new bike.
Well,
I just don't want her to repo it on me.
Well, is she coming down?
What?
Is she gonna come down with you?
No, she's not. She's soured on long trips. She's not gonna do that Florida route.
I can fly.
She can fly.
No.
Hey, the airport's 5 minutes away from my
tell you
house.
though, if you enjoy riding long distances with your old ladies, don't do what I did. So I made her pound it one time coming home from another state. We were way away, and I didn't allow her to take enough bathroom breaks, and she's now a little soured on long distance riding, and that was my fault. It was like 110 degrees outside. I just wanted to get home.
Dog.
It was
Pause
miserable.
for a second. I'm like tapping him on the shoulder, right? I have to pee. I'm like, he must not hear what I'm saying because 100 miles later, we still haven't stopped yet. Hey, I really have to pee. He's like still not acknowledging me. He must not be able to hear what I'm saying. Why is he not stopping?
Oh, he heard you.
First of all, it's hard to hear sometimes in the helmet. Second of all, it's kind of a pain in the ass when you're at half a tank to stop. Like you just want to run that tank out, refill, and go. Apparently, though, if you're going with a woman who is not a rider as hardcore as you are, you should allow them more breaks on the bike. So that is a lesson learned on my end.
I was gonna say, man, I got a lot of love and respect for you, but I gotta take your side on that one, dog.
Oh, yeah, I had no idea.
you.
This was years ago. This was a couple years ago, and she finally just told me like the other day that that's the straw that broke the camel's back was that run. Which is crazy because I always thought it was one. There was one. Again, we went a few states away. I spent like $1,000 on a seat, like getting the seat made, getting all this custom shit done to it, and we made it literally 50 miles outside of our hometown. And she's like, "This seat fucking sucks and it's miserable." And we literally spent she didn't quit though. Like I was like, "You want to turn around and go back?" She said, "No, we'll keep going." And we had a long ways to go yet. And we would stop every place that we could think of to we wrapped a jacket around the seat, lift up the screw, put a jacket under to try and add more padding. We got inserts that go on top of the seat to try and help it. I think we got one of those donuts that helps you take a shit and put that on there. We adjusted the pegs. We stopped, got the pegs lowered and stuff like that. And nothing was fucking helping. And she made it the whole way and back, right?
Yeah.
You didn't fly back.
No, but it sucked.
Made it the whole way, and I always thought that was kind of the part that soured her. Was the custom seat and that ride, but apparently it wasn't. It was the peeing.
Well, maybe all of it, but I said on the way home, this is worse than childbirth. I can't do it. Drop me off.
But to give her a shout out, she has been amazing. Anytime any of my brothers or anything need anything, she takes care of them. There's been tons of times we've had guys passing through and she's let them crash here. They still talk about the food she made and stuff like that. So
that's true. I do make good food. It's true.
She's humble.
Can you hand me my chapstick?
And
I am leaving to go cut up bear meat. So I
look at this guy's like, y'all hillbilly as
yeah,
fuck.
I know, right? I'm like, at least I have all my teeth though. That's nice.
I thought I heard banjos playing.
So I'm gonna go cut bear, but it's nice to meet you guys.
The pleasure was mine. We'll take good care of Dave when he comes down here to pick up that brand new Road Glide.
Sounds good. All right.
Are you leaving?
Yeah.
I have fun.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. Wait. I can barely stand it that you're gone.
God.
He said, "Rap."
So we just lost every listener, if they were even still here.
Oh man,
Yeah, but that one
Daddy
chick,
Shark,
that one chick that listens to the show though, she's gonna be here.
Yeah.
Huh?
That one chick. So
All right. Let's talk about.
wait a minute, is Drifter gonna sing us out? Is this gonna be the outro?
No, we still have to talk about Krumbs. So let's talk.
All right.
I met him a couple of times. It's a great guy. Very sorry for his leaving us. Very, very sorry about that.
100%, man. I got a text message from I don't know if he wants me to use his name, but a mutual friend of ours, right?
Yeah, I know.
He notified me that this swag bag that I got it had like 4 koozies in it, a couple of t-shirts, coins. Like it was a really rad gift. And he understood too, right? Like I met a shit ton of people that night. But yeah, that was from Boozefighter Krumbs. So our deepest condolences goes out to the Boozefighters Nation. You know, during this hard time, I haven't heard one bad thing about him.
And you won't.
And if they haven't, we posted up so we had a brother of his. We didn't write that. We didn't, we had a brother that wrote it in and said, this was somebody that I really loved. Would you guys be willing to put something up? And absolutely, if you lose somebody that means so much to your club, to you, to your nation, whatever, if you send it in, we'll get it up. Like that's what we enjoy. We enjoy kind of, again, not to overuse the word, but preserving legacies of your brothers, of these great club dudes.
Yeah, and I think a big misconception that people have with preserving history, right? That statement is like we're just talking about Tom Fugel and fucking, Ed Kretz and Jim Van, all the old guys. But we're, to what people I don't think realize, you're a part of history today. What we're doing right now is part of history because in, 10, 15 years, they're going to say, hey, man, fucking look up this shit that, the guys that used to fucking write for this that are all fucking, in wheelchairs now. They put down a bunch of good history here. Dave, probably the most legendary beard in Wisconsin. They're going to talk about that. True. It's true. And there's too much good shit that we could say about old fucking Jimothy Big Dick Gangster Band.
I get excited. I get to go see Drifter next month.
Yeah.
Well,
nice.
So I think most people know, but my son lives I have a son that lives in Virginia, and so I whenever I go visit him, take time to see Jim and his guys, and they are always whatever's above amazing hosts, that's what they are. So always a good time, and I enjoy it. And so his birthday, my kid's birthday is actually next month, so I'll go out there for a few days and make time to bum around with Jim for a little bit, and then also, of course, spend a couple of days with my boy.
Hell yeah!
Looking forward to it.
I don't know when I'm gonna be able to come up there, man. We got all these travel restrictions. We got all these travel restrictions, man.
What they don't know won't hurt them.
Shit.
What happened to OPSEC? Let's hear. So, what's your schedule like? What are you doing?
Right. Well, on let's see, at 11 p.m. tonight. No.
Anyway, so
you guys know.
All right, so hopefully, talk about some upcoming shows, and we'll do the outro here. I think that we're gonna have another guest on next week, so we'll have another guest show rather than just the 2 BS shows. So yeah. Oh, also, people get 2 BS shows this week, right?
Yeah.
I
gotta post one today. I gotta post one we did with Drifter or Tragic. I gotta edit that one and then post that today. Then I'm gonna edit this one at the same time and then post that whenever you tell me to.
Whenever you want. Give him a Sunday fun day.
Ooh.
A twofer.
Ooh, another two.
So yeah, we had. I mean, not that it matters because they'll already know by the time they listen to this. But we had the two BS ones, and then I think our next one is gonna be possibly an interview guest. So that'll be a good show.
Yeah.
I wonder what people like more. Do they like the BS ones or when we have the guests? I feel like we get decent reviews. There's always that one asshole that clicks the dislike button. I'm gonna find you, motherfucker.
Yeah. And at least he comments on all of them. It's just there has to be one. So
if you're gonna click the dislike button, if you're doing it to mess with us, then I find it hilarious. If you're clicking the dislike button because you don't like the content, you better fucking tell us why. All right?
I bet it's Jerry, because we're not giving him enough information.
yeah, fuck you, Jerry.
Our ATF monitor.
Yeah. So hey, that's it for us today, guys. We appreciate your support and dedication to your country, or your nation, however you want to word that. Yeah, it's been kind of a weird episode, but I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, I thought it had a good flow.
Yeah. So don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, OnlyFans. You'll see Dave's butthole on OnlyFans. And I'll just be honest with you guys, it's not worth the $16 that he charges a month. It's a little worse for wear. But we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we'll catch you next week.